My name is Zara. I am 17 years old now. I live far from my home in Afghanistan. Every night I think about my mother Fatima. Every morning I wake up with tears on my face. Let me tell you my story. I was born in Kabul, Afghanistan in 2007. My mother Fatima and I lived in a small house near the old market. Our house had 2 rooms and a tiny kitchen made of mud bricks. My father died when I was 5 years old. A bomb exploded near his shop in 2012. After that, it was just Mama and me. Mama worked cleaning houses in the rich part of the city. Zara, she would say, Allah will provide for us. We must pray and be grateful. At school, I loved reading and writing. My teacher said I was very smart. One day, a new girl named Maryam joined our class. She was quiet and had a small blue book that she would read during breaks. When I asked her about it, she looked scared. Weeks passed. We became friends. One Thursday afternoon, Maryam asked if I wanted to come to her house. At her house, she took out the small blue book and opened it carefully. "This is called the NDEs," she whispered. "It tells stories about ISAs. Where did you get this?" I asked. "My uncle gave it to me before he left Afghanistan," Maryam said. "He said Jesus loves us and wants to save us from our sins." She began to read. The words were beautiful. Jesus was healing sick people and teaching about love and forgiveness. It was different from what I had learned about ISA in our Quran lessons. "But Maryam," I said, "this is dangerous. What if someone finds out?" She nodded. "I know. But when I read these words, I feel peace. I feel Jesus' presence with me." I could not stop thinking about what Maryam had read. That night, I asked Mama about Jesus. "Mama, what do you know about Isa al-Masih?" Mama stopped cooking and looked at me. "Why do you ask such a question, my daughter?" "We learned about him in Quran class. But I want to know more." Mama sat beside me. "Isa was a great prophet. But the Christians have made up lies about him. They say he is the son of Allah. This is shirk, it is sin. We believe he was just a messenger." The next week, Maryam invited me to her house again. "I found other people who read the Injil," she said excitedly. "They meet on Friday evenings at a house near the river." My hands started shaking. "Maryam, that sounds very dangerous." An old man named Ahmad led the meeting. He had been a Muslim imam before, but now he followed Jesus. He opened the Injil and read, "Jesus said, 'Come to me, all you who are tired and carrying heavy burdens, and I will give you rest.'" As he spoke, something happened in my heart. It felt like a warm light was shining inside me. For 3 months, I went to the secret meetings every Friday. Mama thought I was studying with Maryam. I hated lying to her, but I knew she would be very angry if she knew the truth. One evening, after reading about how Jesus welcomed children, I whispered a prayer in my room. "Jesus, if you are real, please come into my heart. I want to follow you. I want to know your love." That night I felt different. It was like all the fear and sadness I had been carrying was washed away. As weeks passed, Mama started noticing changes in me. I was happier, more peaceful, but also distracted sometimes. One morning, she found me humming while I swept the house. "Zara, what song is that?" she asked. I stopped. I had been humming a Christian song. "Just something I heard at school, Mama." Another time, she caught me being kind to Mrs. Nazreen, our neighbor who was always mean to us. I had given her some bread when her children were hungry. "Why did you do that?" Mama asked. "Jesus. Islam teaches us to be kind to everyone," I said quickly. Mama's eyes narrowed. "You said Jesus first. Why?" That evening, Mama sat me down. "Zara, I am worried about you. You are changing." Everything changed on a Tuesday in March 2024. I was 16 years old. I had been careless. That morning, I was reading my Injil before school and fell asleep. When Mama came to wake me up, the book was still open beside my pillow. I woke up to her screaming, "Zara, what is this?" She was holding my Injil, shaking with anger and fear. Her face was white as snow. I sat up quickly. "Mama, please let me explain." "Explain? Explain? You have been reading Christian lies. In my house. Under my roof." She started crying. How long have you been deceiving me?" Neighbors started gathering outside our house because of her loud voice. "Mama, please lower your voice," I begged. But she was out of control. "Look what my daughter has been reading. She has become a Christian. I have raised a kafir." My heart stopped. I ran after her. "Mom, please." But it was too late. Mrs. Gullner, our neighbor, saw the book. Her eyes went wide. "Fatima, is this true? Has Zara converted?" "I don't know." Mama cried. "I found this poison in her bed." Within an hour, everyone on our street knew. Word spread quickly to the mosque. By afternoon, 3 men from the religious committee came to our house. The men were scary. Their beards were long and their eyes were cold. I recognized one of them, Mullah Zabiela, who gave sermons at our mosque. "Sister Fatima," he said, "we heard disturbing news about your daughter." "I don't know what happened," she told them. "I found this book this morning." She gave them my Injil. Mullah Zabiela flipped through the pages. He saw all my notes and underlines. "This girl has been studying Christian materials for a long time," he said. "Look at all these marks." He turned to me. "Girl, where did you get this book?" I was terrified. If I told them about Maryam and the secret meetings, everyone would be in danger. I found it." "Where?" "In the street." He slapped me across the face. The sting brought tears to my eyes. "Don't lie to me. Who gave you this book? Who taught you these Christian lies?" "I don't know any Christians," I said. Another slap. "Please." Mama cried. "She's just a child. She doesn't understand what she was doing." Mullah Zabiela looked at Mama with disgust. "And old enough to be punished for choosing wrong." They searched our entire house. They found nothing else, but Mullah Zabiela was not satisfied. "We will be watching this family," he told Mama. "If we find that this girl has been attending Christian meetings or talking to missionaries, there will be serious consequences." After they left, Mama collapsed on the floor, crying. "Zara, what have you done? What have you done to us?" That night, Mama couldn't sleep. She sat beside my bed, watching me. I looked into her tired, worried eyes. I wanted to tell her about Jesus' love, about the peace I had found, about how he had changed my heart. But I was scared. If people believe you have converted to Christianity, they will kill us both. Do you understand? Kill us. I nodded. "From now on, you will not leave this house except for school. You will come straight home every day. No more visiting Maryam. No more studying with friends." But Mama, she was right to be afraid. In Afghanistan, leaving Islam was punishable by death. But in my heart, I still loved Jesus. For 2 weeks, I followed all of Mama's rules. I went to school and came straight home. I spent hours at the mosque. I memorized Quran chapters until my head hurt. But I was dying inside. I missed reading the Injil. I missed the peace I felt when I prayed to Jesus. At school, Maryam was worried about me. "Zara, what happened? You look so sad." I couldn't tell her the whole truth, but I whispered, "My mother found out something. I can't come to the meetings anymore." Maryam's face went pale. "Did she find out about?" I nodded. "Are you in trouble?" "I don't know yet." That afternoon, something terrible happened. Another girl in our class, Shabnam, had been listening to our whispered conversation. Shabnam's father was friends with Mullah Zabiela. When Shabnam went home, she told her father what she had heard. She said I was meeting with Christians and that Maryam might be one too. Shabnam's father immediately called Mullah Zabiela. That evening, while Mama was cooking dinner, there was a loud knock on our door. When Mama opened it, 5 men pushed their way inside. Mullah Zabiela was there, along with 4 other religious leaders from the mosque committee. "We have received new information about your daughter," he announced. Mama's face went white. "What information?" "She has been attending secret Christian meetings. She has been learning from missionaries." "No," Mama said. "I told you she found that book in the street. She hasn't been meeting with anyone. We have witnesses who say otherwise. They pushed me against the wall. Tell us who you have been meeting with. Where are these Christians hiding?" "I don't know what you're talking about," I said. One of the men grabbed me by the hair. "You are a liar. You have betrayed your faith and your family. Please." Mama cried. "Leave her alone. She's learned her lesson." But Mullah Zabiela was not listening. "Search the house again. There must be more evidence." This time, they searched more carefully. They moved furniture, opened boxes, checked every corner. And then, one of them found what I thought was still safely hidden. In a small hole I had made in the wall behind my bed, I had kept some papers, notes I had written about Jesus, and prayers I had copied from the Injil. "Look what I found," the man shouted, waving my papers. Mullah Zabiela read them. His face became dark with anger. "This girl has not only read Christian lies, she has been studying them. She has been praying to Jesus." He turned to Mama. "Your daughter is an apostate. And you, as her mother, are responsible." "I didn't know." Mama screamed. "I swear by Allah, I didn't know." Ignorance is no excuse. You failed to protect your daughter from corruption. You failed to teach her proper Islam. What happened next still gives me nightmares. Mullah Zabiela nodded to the other men. "This family has brought shame to our community. They must be punished." "No, please," I screamed. "Punish me, not my mother. She didn't do anything wrong." But they weren't listening to me anymore. 2 men grabbed Mama and dragged her to the center of the room. "You have allowed Christian poison into your home," Mullah Zabiela said. "You have failed as a Muslim mother." They started hitting her. I screamed and tried to run to her, but the other men held me back, forcing me to watch. "Mama! Mama!" They hit her with sticks, with their fists, with their feet. She fell to the ground, and they kept hitting her. "Stop it! Stop it! She didn't know. I hid everything from her." But my screams meant nothing to them. Mama tried to protect her head with her arms. Blood was coming from her nose, her mouth. Her beautiful headscarf was torn and bloody. "Please," she whispered. "I have only one daughter. Don't take her from me. I'll make sure she returns to Islam." "It's too late for that," Mullah Zabiela said coldly. They kept beating her for what felt like hours but was probably only minutes. Finally, our neighbors started gathering outside, drawn by the screaming. "What's happening?" I heard someone shout. Someone call for help. When the men heard the neighbors coming, they stopped. But Mama was barely breathing. Her face was swollen and bloody. She could not stand up. Mullah Zabiela leaned down close to me. "Let this be a lesson to you, girl. This is what happens when you abandon Islam." Then they left. The neighbors rushed in and found Mama on the floor. Mrs. Nazreen, the same woman I had been kind to, took charge. "We need to get her to the hospital immediately." 2 men carried Mama to a car. I rode with her, holding her hand. She was unconscious, but still breathing. "Mama, please don't leave me," I whispered. "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." On the way to the hospital, Her breathing became weaker and weaker. "Drive faster," Mrs. Nazreen shouted to the driver. But we were stuck in traffic. Cars everywhere and no way through. Mama opened her eyes one last time. She looked at me, and even though her face was swollen and bloody, I could see love in her eyes. "Zara," she whispered so softly I could barely hear her. Be good. "Mama, stay with me. We're almost there." She tried to squeeze my hand, but she was too weak. Her eyes closed. "Mama? Mama." Mrs. Nazreen felt for her pulse. Then she looked at me with tears in her eyes. "I'm sorry, my child. She's gone. Mama died because of me. Because I chose to follow Jesus. Because I was not careful enough with my secret. The men who killed her faced no punishment. In fact, many people in our neighborhood said they did the right thing. They said Mama deserved to die for raising a daughter who became a Christian. Mrs. Nazreen, who had been kind to me since Mama's death, came to me one night. "Zara, you need to leave Afghanistan," she said. "It's not safe for you here." Mrs. Nazreen contacted someone she knew, a man who helped people cross the border into Pakistan. It would be dangerous, but it was my only chance. I kept thinking about her warnings. "Be careful, Zara. This is dangerous. They will kill us both." After 2 weeks of walking, we finally crossed the border into Pakistan. But even there, I wasn't safe. The people who had helped us escape told me I needed to keep moving to get as far away as possible. I met other people who had left their countries because of their faith. Some were former Muslims who had become Christians. Others were Christians who had been persecuted in their home countries. For months, I struggled with my faith. I would lie awake at night thinking about Mama. Did she go to heaven? Muslims believe that people who die as Muslims go to paradise. But Christians believe that only those who accept Jesus go to heaven. It took a long time, but slowly, I began to understand that following Jesus didn't cause Mama's death. Evil people who hated truth caused her death. Jesus had warned his followers that following him would cost them everything. He said, "In this world you will have trouble. But take heart. I have overcome the world." Mama's death was the trouble Jesus warned about. But he also promised that he had overcome the world. That meant death was not the end. I started reading the Injil again. Not the hidden, fearful way I had read it in Kabul, but openly, hungrily. I read about Jesus weeping when his friend Lazarus died. I read about him comforting people who were sad and afraid. I read about him promising that everyone who believes in him will never truly die. And slowly, my faith grew strong again. 2 years after leaving Afghanistan, I was accepted to resettle in Canada. It was scary to move so far from home, but it was also hope for a new beginning. Sometimes people ask me if I regret becoming a Christian. They ask if I would choose differently if I could go back. The answer is no. Not because following Jesus was easy, it cost me everything, but because I know that truth is worth any price. Mama's death was not God's will. It was the result of evil people who hate love and truth. But even in that darkness, God brought light. If you are reading this and you are a secret believer in a dangerous place, I want you to know that you are not alone. Jesus sees you. He knows your fear. He understands the cost you might have to pay. Pray for wisdom. Be careful, but don't give up hope. And if you are a mother or father who has discovered that your child follows Jesus, please remember that love is stronger than fear. Your child hasn't rejected you. They have found something beautiful that they want to share with you. My mother died without understanding my faith. But her love never died. And neither did mine for her. This story is told in memory of Fatima and all the mothers who have paid the price for their children's faith. May their sacrifice not be forgotten.